So Gareth Evans has a new film coming out. No, not Gareth Edwards, director of Rogue One and The Creator, Welsh director Gareth Evans. If you're an action movie fan and you haven't seen any of Evans' films, you're missing out because his raid movies are absolutely incredible. He made a film a while back called Meranto, which I haven't seen, but it was The Raid in 2011 that really put him on the map. A high-octane, ferocious martial arts film involving a SWAT team trapped in a building run by a mobster. Think Dread, but with a martial arts coat instead of a sci-fi one. It's a fantastic movie. The action on display is mesmerizing. It introduced the world to Iko Uwais and Joe Taslim and was a trendsetter for modern, hyper-fast, gory Eastern action films. Evans somehow managed to top The Raid with the film's sequel, The Raid 2, which I think is definitely in contention to being the best action film of the 21st century. Some might feel it's a little bloated at 2.5 hours, but this one is of course more story-centric and is a mob drama as well as an action film. The fight scenes are simply stupendous, and Evans really upped the ante with ambitious pieces like a mass prison brawl and an excellent car chase. There were plans for a third film which would have focused on the Japanese mob, but Evans wanted to take a break from martial arts movies for a few years. Eventually though, Evans pretty much scrapped his plans for the third film as he wasn't in the right headspace for it, and since then he has confirmed he won't be revisiting the Raid films. Evans then made an interesting Netflix horror film called Apostle, and he's done work on the season 1 of the series Gangs of London, where you can clearly see his mark in the action scenes. But he's not exactly prolific, and the itch that many of his fans want scratched is that brutal kinetic violence he's so good at. And it looks like we're finally getting what we want because his next film, Havoc, is coming out in a few weeks. I first heard about this film years ago, but its release was delayed due to reshoots required, which were hampered by scheduling conflicts and strikes. It's got a solid cast. Tom Hardy, an excellent actor, is in the lead role, and we also have the likes of Timothy Olyphant, Forrest Whitaker, and Louis Guzman. The plot is as follows. After a drug deal gone wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through the criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son, unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. Sounds like a great setup for action galore, and looking at the film's trailer, it does look like it's the kind of Evans movie that we've been wanting to see for a long time. Hardy does have experience with martial arts, so I imagine we'll get a lot of hand-to-hand stuff too, but in general, it looks like Havoc is more gunplay-centric, which is great. I liked the gunplay in the Raid movies and wanted more of that. There's a few shots of fights in nightclubs that feel reminiscent of the John Wick movies, and we can see that the camera is right up close and all over the place, very much part of the action. I've never really been a fan of shaky cam, but when implemented right, as it was done in the Raid films, where you could still see what was going on and it wasn't done to cover up a lack of actual physical performances from the actors, it can add to the intensity of action scenes. Evans actually tailored the action to Hardy's Hulk-like physique. He said, "It was never going to be a martial arts film. I wanted this to feel like the gunplay stuff that I love watching. Tom came to us in fucking beast mode. I tapped him on the shoulder, and it was just like granite. He came fully physically prepared." And speaking on the character Hardy is playing, Walker, Evans said, "Walker is not silky smooth. He's gonna cause as much carnage and as much mayhem as possible. He's not grabbing your wrist and turning you into an arm lock. He's grabbing you by the scruff of the neck and driving your face into the nearest heavy object." So are you looking forward to this movie? What kind of film do you want to see Evans do next? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and thanks for watching.